Oh, hi guys. You're just in time. Guess what? I'm gonna make a another movie review, but this time it's gonna be on a crossover that I actually like. And it's called The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones from 1987. So without further ado, let's get this started, shall we folks? Cue the intro, please. Hello, guys. I'm Jonathan's Media Corner here, and today, here is my review on The Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. Came in the year of 1987. So basically, what the plot's about is in the future, Elroy is busy working on a time machine while George Jetson comes to Mrs. Spacely's office for a serious discussion. Spacely's rival Cogswell has been stealing Spacely's business ideas, putting their jobs in jeopardy, and Spacely wrongfully blames George for everything, suspecting that he was spying for Cogswell. Spacely orders George to spy on Cogswell to clear his name to avoid getting fired. George finds out that Cogswell's robot computer, SARA, has been seducing the Spacely robot computer, RUDI, into leaking Spacely's secrets, and George tries to report this to Spacely, but RUDI sabotages his efforts. While in the Stone Age, Wilma and Betty are trying to convince Fred Flintstones to have their vacation in Honolulu Rock, but Fred ignores their advances. While later at work, Fred tells Barney Rubble that he plans to take the girls someplace better. He tells Barney that a poker tournament is being held at the Water Buffalo Lodge and wants to go. But Mrs. Slate shows up and tells him that that on the due on them going on vacation, they must work on a late shift because talk took Torpid, Slate's business rival and nemesis, has been outproducing them. Fred and Barney later disobey and Slate's order and they go to the poker tournament. However, after seeing that Slate is playing there too, they disguise themselves. Fred plays against Slate, but he loses. A spider exposes Barney, and ultimately, furious that they deceived and disobeyed him, and he fired Fred and Barney. While back into the future, Elroy completes his time machine, and the Jetsons decide to use it to take a trip to the 25th century to relax. Right before Elroy gets the machine working, his dog Astro sets to sets the switch to past. With no job, the Flintstones and Rubbles are forced to settle for a camping holiday. As Fred and Barney set up the tent, the Jetsons arrive from the future. George and Fred eventually communicate and the families become friends. Fred is then amazed by George's futuristic gadgets and decides to use them to help Mrs. Slate in a competition at the upcoming company picnic. Fred introduces George to Slate, claiming that George is a distant cousin. Slayers are reluctant at first to trust George, but since rival businessman Tarpit's cheating has set him back, Slade accepts their help in exchange for giving them their jobs back. George and Fred uses technology to help Slate win several games, But in the last event, Astro and Dino's action causes Tar Pit to become the winner. And in the end, Slate once again fires Fred and Barney. While Mrs. Spacely continues to vent over his failing business, Henry, Orbit, and Rosie the robot maid assembled a time machine retriever to bring the Jetsons back. But when they turn it on, the time machine returns with the Flintstones instead. Upon seeing they really are cavemen, Spacely introduces them to the press. While stuck in the past, George asks Mr. Slate for a job. Slate initially rejects, but when Tar Pit offers George work George work, Slate immediately makes George his partner, and George soon becomes famous. Using their newfound fame and riches, the Jetsons buy multiple local businesses, and they soon become overwhelmed. Meanwhile, Mr. Spacely makes Fred the spokesman for his company, but RUDI leaks the information to SARA. And when Spacely is introducing Fred to some important investors, Coxwell introduces Barney instead, leading to a rift in Fred and Barney's friendship. Meanwhile, Rosie requests RUDI to help Henry and her try to fix the time machine to find the Jetsons. SARA appears and demands that RUDI get rid of Rosie before she departs. But RUDI agrees to do whatever he can to get the Jetsons back and leaves SARA for good. They fix the time machine and Rosie is transported to the Stone Age where she finds her family. Now able to return home, the Jetsons leave, taking Fred's car with them. After Judy says goodbye to a teen idol, Iggy, Mrs. Spacely concocts a plan to use Fred's car as a model for futuristic replicas. Coxwell sends his robotic dog, Central, to steal this information since SARA is no longer useful. When she tells him that RUDI broke up with her and told her off, the two families manage to stop Central, destroying the evidence he had collected. Spacely's business of selling Stone Age style cars becomes successful, and he even agrees to sell one to Coxwell, but not without warning Coxwell that if he copies any part of it, Spacely will sue him and take over his business. Fred and Barney repair their friendship, and Spacely lets George keep his job, and George offers his partnership with Mrs. Slate to Fred and Barney to give them their jobs back. Just as they are about to leave for home, Elroy tells them that the time machine is broken and it can't be repaired. Fortunately, they are able to return to the Stone Age because Fred's car absorbed the time machine's quadrupotence, and the Flintstones and Robbers then bid a fond farewell to the Jetsons and are sent back to the Stone Age, and that's basically what the plot is for the entire film. Guys, what do I think about it? Honestly, this is a really amazing crossover and a really great film. This is what you get when you get two great Hanna-Barbera cartoons and put them together and make this great movie like this. You get the Jetsons and you get the Flintstones and you make this marvelous crossover. The animation stays true to both of these cartoons. Yeah, the animation you could tell. I think it's so well. It stays true. And not only that, there were lots of great moments. Yeah, when the Jetsons meet the Flintstones, it was actually pretty funny, and I like how they became friends. Yeah, and they have to figure out the way to. They have to figure out the way to go back to their homes, and I like how the Flintstones go to the Jetsons future, and the Jetsons go to the prehistoric world. the future world of the Jetsons that the Flintstones go to. I meant, and there are some moments that makes you want to laugh as well. Yeah, I even like I even like how they met each other and they became friends, and I even like how it ended when they say goodbye and they go back to their homes. That was a heartwarming ending. Yeah, the animation is really admirable and it stays true to the original, like I said. Even the voice acting, I could tell the voice acting was really good. Yeah, I like the voice acting. It fits perfectly for their characters as well. All the characters from the Jetsons and the Flintstones, the voice actor and actresses, they did a good job with their voicing part. It it stayed true to their personalities, and yeah, I could tell they did a really good job. And this was a this was an animated crossover that was made for television as well, which that's cool. You get two Hanna-Barbera cartoons and you make pile them up together, you make this great show like this. Yeah, I really like this movie. The, the acting, the voice acting, I should say, the animation. This is such an amazing crossover. I mean, this is by far one of the best crossovers I've ever seen so far. Yeah, I really enjoyed this crossover. Just like how we got Family Guy with The Simpsons as a crossover, we got this as well. We even got Billy and Mandy with Codename Kids Next Door. That was a good crossover too. Yeah, and this one is one of them. This is another one of those great crossovers I like. So if you haven't seen it, where have you been? You have to check this out. The animation, the voice acting, the plot, the music, everything I could say about it is just a true Hanna-Barbera crossover classic. So, so for my final rating for the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones, I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 7. Outstanding crossover. And there you go. That was my review on the Jetsons Meet the Flintstones. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. I'm Jonathan's Media Corner here signing off, and I'll see you guys later. And peace out, y'all.